Every day, there are incredible preparedness deals floating around the internet, but who has time to dig through dozens of websites to find them? That's why we created PrepperFinds.com, your one-stop site for the best prepper deals online. Our team scans the web, finds the biggest discounts on survival gear, food storage, water filters, radios, and more, and posts them in one easy place. No more wasting hours searching or missing out on limited time sales. At PrepperFinds.com, you'll see the best deals every single day, so you can save money while stocking up on what really matters. Check it out today at PrepperFinds.com. Bookmark it, visit daily, and never miss a deal that could keep your family prepared. That's PrepperFinds.com, where smart preppers shop.
Survive, thrive, stay alive. It's time to get prepared with the Prepping Academy podcast.
Hey everybody, welcome in to another episode of the Prepping Academy podcast. I am Patrick with Grid Down Comms Up. I am joined tonight by Forrest Garvin, the founder of PrepperNet, Garvin Academy, and a few other businesses that might be of interest. Forrest, do you want to tell us about any of those?
Sure. I will tell you about a business. You guys probably know that I was part of a solar oven company many years ago, and I was there, turned the company around, left there 3.5 years ago. The company has since went out of business, and I don't really figure out how that happened because I left it in good shape. But the company went out of business, so my company has started a company called My Solar Oven. So if you go to mysolaroven.com, it's a solar cooker, and it is the best on the market. And I've created that. I also run a company called Garvin Academy, where I do online education, teach people how to be amazing, teach people how to disappear on the internet, teach people how to create home-based businesses, and how to make money in crypto. And so that's just a few of the ones. Now, guys, I'm gonna share something with you guys, and you can't share this with anyone. This is just between me and you, that this is going to be the best podcast you've heard in a long time. And I know that because Patrick and I just went through this entire podcast like it was being recorded, but I didn't know he just wanted to practice the first time because he forgot to press record. So this is our second time. Who does a podcast twice? We do. That's how much we care.
Yeah, I'm going to have to own this one. I forgot to click the record button, and I'm not using the software I usually use, so I don't have that pretty blinking record light up there.
It's just because we care, man. We care. We went through the whole thing just for you guys.
It's on me. So anyway, on tonight's episode, we're going to talk about what happens the first year after the grid goes down. There's a
Everyone
lot of
dies.
Yes.
No, okay, sorry.
Most of them do. Yeah, if we look at the what a mouthful. The EMP Commission's report from back in the early 2000s, approximately 90% of the population does not survive the first year after an EMP. But we can extrapolate that out to, an EMP takes away the grid. So whatever causes the grid to go away, if it's, Iranian hackers, a CME, whatever causes the grid to go away, we can expect fairly similar results. And I think this happens, in a few phases. We've talked about there's the first, 48 hours of people in disbelief, and then 72 hours, everybody goes crazy. And Forrest was telling me about a video. You guys can search this on YouTube. It's called 72 Hours to Chaos or something like that.
Yes, that's it. I'll try to put that in the notes as well if I find it. 72 Hours to Chaos. And a guy goes back in history when different communities or, towns or cities, when they realize there's no more food coming, there's no more, the power's not coming back on. Every single time in history, people go nuts. Your neighbor will be the first one to kill you so that their baby could eat. And it's historic. And people are like, that would never happen in America. Yeah, don't feed your baby for 3 days. And let's then ask you that question.
People do it. If you know, we will talk about biblical things off and on throughout this podcast, but there are recorded historical examples in the Bible of people eating people during times of starvation. It is a thing that is in there. It's God's warning to you to be prepared so you're not the person having to eat people in order to stay alive. And some people won't do that no matter what. They'll starve.
Yes, I will be one of them. But it's so funny. We didn't talk about this the first time. Now you're talking about eating people.
But it's it's a thing, right?
It is a thing. So here's the thing as well. There's many things that could cause this. Like you said, it could be EMP, CME, could be a hacker, could be a 13-year-old hacker out of Nigeria or someone from North Korea. Could be a rat in a closet. It could that trip some wires or eat some wires to routers and things. But here's the thing that people don't know. If the grid goes down because of something, it's not like they turn it back on in like an hour.
No.
It could take it could take weeks. It could take months. It could possibly, highly likely, never come back on.
It's true. There's somebody said that there's like 7 or, there's just a handful of people out there that know how to black start the grid. And most of them are, retirement age, because we've never had to actually start a utility grid in my lifetime from the ground up. It's been running. There's been something that's synchronized, and you just add more generation capacity onto it to increase capacity, and you don't actually have to like start and sync and get everything going. And we were talking about there's around 7-ish interconnects around the country where the different grid sections connect together, and take out like 2 or 3 of those, and the grid goes down. And not only does the grid go down, but the equipment that's there is kind of irreplaceable. I mean, it's replaceable, but it's like years out in manufacturing. So, that could certainly put us in a very bad situation, because I'm not saying that, 12 guys and 4 or 5 pickup trucks that know what they're doing could like put the whole U.S. in the dark for a couple of years, but maybe I am. So
yeah, you see, I have the mindset a couple of years. I believe if the grid goes down for more than a month, it's highly unlikely the grid will come up for a couple of years.
Yes.
That's me talking to people and just putting things together. But, I try to be positive, but it was going to be really tough.
Well, and we didn't talk about this last time, but I think it's worth bringing up. You remember the blackout in the Northeast back in, 2002, 2003, something like that? Mm-hmm. That was a regionalized blackout. It was one segment of one of those big chunks of the grid. And that took, it took a while to come back on. It was a couple of days, I think, before they got everything back up and going. And the bigger the chunk of the grid that goes down, I think it goes up orders of magnitude likely in how long it will take to come back. And if the entire grid goes down, that's a major, major, major undertaking to try to get back up, not only because of the technical aspects of the grid, but, me being the communications guy, the grid is spread out over a very large space. And there's the need to communicate and coordinate getting all this stuff up. And if that stuff's interrupted as well, right, it's going to make that a lot more difficult. Not everybody has the ability to communicate the way that the PrepperNet people do.
So a friend of mine works for a nonprofit that helps regulate power companies. They can fine them, they can help them and encourage them. Here's how he explained it to me. He goes, Forrest, imagine the power grid is ran by the first Model T ever made by Ford. And that thing has had to stay working from the day it was cranked up, it's had to always stay running. And you got to make repairs to it constantly. Somehow you got to figure out how to change a piston while the motor's still running. He goes, then when that piston breaks, we just don't have the parts laying around. We got to keep that motor running. So when it shuts down, they got to make the parts from scratch at this point. You would think that we would be smart and have the transformers sitting around. We don't. We're not that smart.
That's also cost prohibitive.
Yes. But he says that imagine that old machine, because the grid's never been down nationwide like that. And if you turn it down, wow. I mean, and then communicating, who's going to listen on the other end when you go, okay, guys, getting ready to turn it on.
Exactly. And, I have pictures of a hydro facility not too far from my place. The nameplates on the transformers and the generators say Westinghouse Tesla, 1937. Dang. And they are still operating and running. Now, that's a huge testament to our ability to engineer stuff that lasts, unlike the currently produced electronic stuff that breaks in a couple of years. But anyway, moving on, one of the things that we talk about when it comes to bug out retreats, that trigger, that red line, okay, a couple of things have gone down, the mushroom cloud over Atlanta. We talked about the TV show Jericho, where, they see the mushroom cloud over Denver, and then they find out it's in Atlanta and New York and, wherever. And so those of you guys who are looking for that signal, that red line at which you need to bug out, if you haven't figured it out yet, that's definitely one of them.
Yes.
You need to do the bug out thing if that happens. But if the grid goes down and it's not a regionalized thing like the Northeast blackout we were talking about, if it's multiple sections of the grid, that probably is an indicator too that you need to bug out, because it's not coming back on quickly. It doesn't matter what propaganda gets pushed out there by the news media, the government, whatnot, trying to keep people calm so that chaos doesn't start. If half the nation is in the dark, it's time to go. It's one of those things that, we have to figure out, we have to plan for, we have to understand. But, the EMP Commission thing, we coined the phrase 90% of the problem will resolve itself in the first year. Yeah. Your responsibility, your mission is to survive that 90% of the problem going away. And that brings us, Forrest and I were a little different on a couple things when it comes to like the whole prepping side of things. I'm a little more permaculture, regenerative farming, produce your own food, be independent. Forrest is a little more pack it in the basement and, be prepared that way in some ways, I think. But one of the things both of us will agree on is that first year, your primary mission is to stay alive, collect information, understand the situation, understand how big it is, the scope, that kind of thing, and prepare for, after that 90% of the problem goes away, to turn around and either start or return to the agricultural production, the producing food, the doing that kind of thing. Because if you don't, and you have, what do you call it for us? The cows in the field,
that's
new
tomorrow's supermarket.
Okay. Yeah. The tomorrow's supermarket. If you have, and you look like an agricultural operation, you're going to be a magnet for people who are hungry.
And you can't stop shoppers, because you when 50 people come shopping, you probably don't have enough firepower to stop them. Hey, let's take a quick break.
Has your data been hacked? Do you feel uneasy about the vulnerability of your personal information online? Were you involved in the Target, LinkedIn, or Microsoft data leaks? Don't know? If not, then pay attention. Join Forrest Garvin from PrepperNet for a free webinar on privacy and security. Gain insights into safe internet browsing, VPNs, crafting online aliases, secure emails, detecting if your data has been hacked, and managing passwords. Secure your spot today for this webinar on privacy and security. It's free. This webinar delves into comprehensive strategies for bolstering your online privacy. We've got you covered, from fortifying your passwords to shielding your financial information and mastering state-of-the-art encryption techniques. We're offering 2 convenient dates to suit your schedule. Reserve your spot now at preppernet.com/privacy. Don't let cyber threats erode your peace of mind any longer. Take the first step toward a safer, more secure online experience by joining us for our free webinar. Remember, knowledge is power when it comes to safeguarding your privacy. Sign up now at preppernet.com/privacy. We'll see you there.
Now, if you catch them, 10 miles away and, interdict, that might be different. But that's, again, that's the whole thing about being prepared and in a group. If you're American Gothic out there, Ma and Pa with the pitchfork against the horde of hungry people, not going to end well for you. So, I think, Forrest, your plan is to scorch to earth the agricultural ops at your place. And
yes. So well, first of all, I want to say that you don't be the frog in the pot of boiling water. If you see something, always take the chance that could be the last thing you see, and prepare and go to your bug out. Don't wait around. Don't be that frog that's saying, "Oh, it's America. We're going to get through this time," because Americans, a lot. Like I tell people all the time, if there's a nuclear issue in New York, Chicago, or LA, all at the same time, 99% of the people would go to work tomorrow if that happened tonight. And people go, "No, they wouldn't." I'm like, "Yes, they would." Why? One, we're Americans. We can pull through this. We've done it before. As America, we can pull through this. 2, if I don't go to work, I may get fired. And if I don't go to work, I might not get paid. I've got to pay my house, my mortgage, my car, the kids' camp coming up. So I'm going to go to work. That's the way Americans think. That is people in a pot of water right there saying, well, we're in. Do I believe in America? I served our country. I believe in America. But if that happens, a nuclear issue, bomb in New York, Chicago, and LA, trust me, that's going to change everything in the United States. And so don't be the frog. So bug out and be ready. Second is you got to have a group. If you don't have a group, you just prepare to die. I mean, I know. I always say, if you're not in a group, you're going to die. And I believe that. I think history has kind of proven that too. Mm-hmm. You got to have that tribe. And who wants to fight zombies alone?
It's true. And, that's the thing. Yeah. If you get out ahead of the curve, you can get into a situation where that you can disappear effectively prior to things getting as bad as they're going to get, because it's going to progressively get worse. It's not, we all love a good zombie movie, right? And if you notice in a zombie movie, it's always like everything's normal and then people are eating each other. It's just, and I don't know what's got me on the people eating each other thing this time around, but but that's the thing. It's there is no slow. It's 1 minute it's normal, 1 minute it's not. And as preppers, we really like that because it's easy.
Scorch earth. So in my group, if it's in the middle of the summer and this happens, we're gonna literally mow over all our plants that's in a garden. It's a row garden. It's probably a quarter acre. 2 plots maybe add up to a quarter acre. We're gonna just kill everything there, because what we don't want is someone coming up on our property, and maybe we didn't see them. They throw a drone overhead and they see our plants. We don't want them to think we have any resources at all. And you're like, you're just throwing away food. Well, we have enough food. It's not visible. And we have it hidden. We got different spots for it. It's good. It's good to go. So we have enough food to last for more than the die-off. We have way more than that. So our thinking is you hide for the first year. You don't want to put your family and other people in your community, in your tribe in danger. Just hide, eat, stay on in your little tribe there, and don't grow food, because if you're growing food, they're going to come and eat it before it's even ripe. And then, so we're going to thrive. We're not going to survive. We're going to thrive. And we don't want to see people, because we don't want to see anyone to see how plump and fat we are. So don't be coming in on a retreat, okay? But we're going to thrive because we have all this food stored. We have enough food to screw up a couple of seasons of planting. So when the die-off happens, I know this is really bad, but it's something we got to talk about. Imagine if 90% of the people that's around your house right now die. That means you could go and pick the house you want that has a garden and start growing food in a year. I mean, guess what? Your mortgage is free at that point.
It's true. It's
tough to think about.
This is a very unlikely, very kind of implausible black swan type event, but it is something that is, I think, worth discussing, because every empire collapses. Okay. We were talking about Selco, and he survived in an urban situation, which for all you guys out there going, we're going to be urban preppers, we're going to survive. You know what? He's proof that it can be done, but you might want to read his books and see just exactly how horrible of a situation it was, because you can do better than that. That's why we prep. But,
Yes.
but that nation collapsed. Ours may very well too. Rome collapsed. It's an inevitability that societies go through cycles, and sometimes it's because they're taken over by another country, in the case of Rome, or it's because they have an internal civil war and the whole place just implodes into chaos. And there's a lot of potential possibilities, and we're not going to get into the outside impacts and forces on that. It's maybe worth talking about it another time. But for this, we're focusing on that because a lot of people we focus on the parts of prepping and kind of the way we think it's going to happen, or I was talking about William Fortune 1 Second After,
Mm-hmm.
and how that book kind of presents the EMP in a the situation there. Frankly, they hold it together a lot better than reality indicates that would probably happen. It's like the light version of the collapse that's a little more palatable by readers.
Right. Yep. That was like Mayberry disaster.
Yeah, it was. Everybody pulls together. We're going to do great. We're going to do this. At some point, that's probably not going to be the case in this situation. And there in the book, they kind of make it sound like Asheville is a really long way away. I think it's probably like an hour's walk from Tunnel Road in East Asheville to Black Mountain. It's not that far. And a lot of problems would most likely head that way. And they saw some of those in the book, but still, it's a tough situation on that front. And it's something that we have to think about, as we prep, because I hear a lot of people who in the prepping community that would say, I'm going to be out tending my garden. I'm going to be worried about food production. I'm going to be worried about all this stuff. I'm not going to be worried about defense and communications, and I can't man the radios, and I can't collect information, and I can't do all of this stuff because I'm going to be too busy picking squash bugs off my whatever.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a mistake in the first year. After the first year, yeah, that's absolutely right. That's going to be you're going to be back to the agrarian subsistence farmer lifestyle in a lot of ways.
So have that year's worth of food, have the year's worth of Beano, have that. I mean,
the carbon filter undershorts.
You're going to be real personal with your friends all of a sudden, and you're going to be, you'll be farting around your wife's best friend, and you're like, sorry, I can't control it at this point, but have that. And so you got the resources now. We did a study once in our group. One person, a year's worth of food is like literally less than $500. Now it's going to suck. You're eating beans and rice and lentils and powdered butter, powdered eggs. It's probably gone up in price because we did that probably in 2013 or 10. Yeah, so it's $800 now, maybe $1,000 for one person.
Yeah,
and you're going to fart a lot.
Well, and that's the other side of that too. We talk about that, and it's worth mentioning. That first year, staying healthy is going to be a huge, huge issue for a lot of folks because your diet just changed radically. Do you have supplements? Do you have the things that you need to stay healthy while that you're moving from your typical American diet of cheeseburgers and milkshakes or whatever? Let's hope you're not eating that, but if you are, to eating rice and beans and rice and corn flour and, whatever you have stored. And people say, well, store what you eat. And that is a very important thing. But it's also not 100% realistic for most people because a lot of the things that we eat, I can't store lettuce, and I don't think freeze-dried lettuce is very good. I haven't tried that yet, but wisdom says that's not a good idea.
Yeah, that's called E. coli.
or something.
Yeah,
it's not good. So we have to plan for that, and we have to figure out what we're going to do, and we have to figure out how we're going to take care of ourselves for that first year because our primary mission that first 365 days is how do I stay alive and how do I keep my loved ones around me alive while the rest of the world burns.
Right.
And
so some of the things, not only buying things right now to get through that, and you're like, okay, you can store a year's worth of food in your house, easy.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also you got to prepare yourself, your spouse, depending on your age of your kids, is the mindset.
Yes.
You said in the first time we did this that there's going to be a lot of people just literally give up and die and commit suicide. You got to have the mindset to survive, to protect your family. And that takes, it's like you got to exercise your mindset and think through things before they really happen. In the military, they put us under pressure, and then we have a task list to do while the pressure's on us. And we have these cards to go by, even like pilots before they get into a plane, they do a checklist. They do a checklist. Every time is a checklist. Sometimes they're distracted. That's why they got the checklist. They can go back to it. And so as you prepare your mind and exercise your mind, watching videos, reading books, thinking through, some of the scenarios, that literally is what exercises your mind. And and not that you're going to be ever totally prepared, but there's more than just having items. You got to have the mindset and the skills.
Yeah. And one of the things that I think a lot of people are not used to that level of stress. I remember during Hurricane Helene, the first couple of days after, I was still trying to find some friends that I hadn't been able to reach in North Carolina. Most of my good friends in PrepperNet were on the radio, and I knew they were fine, and they were doing their thing, and they were great. There were some other folks I hadn't heard from. I had people reaching out to me about staging for a disaster relief ministry that was coming in. had all kinds of things going on surrounding that. Plus, I was trying to work and do family stuff and everything. And the stress and the pressure of that. I remember standing at a gas pump after swapping my credit card, and I couldn't remember what my zip code was to put in the fuel pump. I couldn't do it. I ended up walking inside and just going, here's $40. Can you turn pump, whatever it was on? I couldn't. It was just gone. And we don't think about that stress impact at that time, because you're going to see and you're going to experience stuff. People who go through the disasters experience and see things they need counseling for. It's not taking mental care of yourself is not something we talk about in the prepping world a lot, because it's not cool guy Rambo stuff. Okay. It's not, but it's super important, especially for you, for your kids, for younger people that see this. You know, as we get older, we've seen more stuff. We're a little able to process stuff a little bit better, but still, you got to take mental care of yourself, because that first year, there's going to be a ton of trauma that, as normalcy returns after that, is going to, you know, it's not going to be the same, but it's going to be a different kind of thing that's more consistent and more normal. But the first year, it's going to be just one gut punch after another.
You know, I tell people all the time that, in joking, but in seriousness, when the poop hits the fan, I'm going to kidnap, not really, but kidnap my pastor friend, who's one of my best friends, his wife, and his family. And people are like, "What? You going to kidnap him?" I'm like, he knows we're coming to get him. I don't want him to deflect of him doing his ministry for the Lord at the church. But when it's time to go, I'm going to go and grab him, his wife, and his entire family, because he is a pastor, a counseling pastor. He's going to be as important as that, you know, that tier 1 operator or that, you know, communications guy, because there's going to be mental issues. He's a pastor. People trust him. He's been in, you know, counseling people for 30 years. And that is an important role. And when I say I'm going to go kidnap, it's just a joke, but I'm going to come by his house and go, "Hey, it's time to go." And he's going to look at me and I'm like, "It's time to go." And he's going to go, "Okay." They're going to get in the car, and he doesn't do any preparedness. I don't want him to waste a time, even, you know, putting back a can of beans. We're going to take care of that, because I want him to do what God's called him to do right now. But yeah, that's important.
It is absolutely important. It is such a huge thing that is overlooked by so many people.
Both our wives need that really bad. No, I'm kidding.
Well, in those situations, they will, and so will our kids, because their world will be upside down.
Yeah, I'm just kidding. So, mostly for our wives. Oh, they better not listen to this.
Oh, they probably will. But anyway, yeah. On that note, you know, if you're having a difficult time right now, you know, remember, don't choose a permanent solution to a temporary problem. There are people out there that can help. There is counseling available. God has got your back. He put you here for a purpose. You have a mission, and if you're still here, He's still got something for you to do.
And find a PrepperNet group near you. They're all around the United States. Find your tribe. So some of my best friends are all preppers. 15 years, 20 years ago, when I was coming out of the banking world, guess who my best friends were? Bankers, people downtown, people that, you know, did the corporate concrete jungle. Now I have very few friends. I just disown them, because my like-minded and my hobbies and everything I do are more with, you know, outdoors people and preppers and people that kind of think like me.
It's true.
Change your tribe.
Your tribe.
Die. That's a new term. Change your tribe or die. I'm going to get a shirt.
Print me one of those too. I want one. Change your tribe or die. I like it. There we go. So on that note, you know, get in a group or you're going to die, as Forrest would say. We're going to wrap up the podcast on that note. Thank you guys for attending and hanging out with us tonight, today, and morning, whenever you're listening to this. As always, if you want to learn some more about communications, check me out on YouTube at Grid Down Comms Up. If you want to learn more about the plethora of things that Forrest does, you can check him out at Garvin Academy and anything else.
Preppernet.com.
Yep, you go to preppernet.com.
Yep.
If you want to find a group, want to get plugged in, there are plenty of PrepperNet groups that are going on, and there's plenty of PrepperNet groups that need leadership and need someone to start them.
Yes.
So if that is your calling, reach out to one of us, and we'll get you set up on that front. So
don't go to my OnlyFans page. Don't wait. No, I mean PrepperNet page.
Yes, PrepperNet page.
Is it fans? I don't even know how to. I don't even know what it is. So I tried to make a joke and I just bombed it.
It's it is what it is. We might make more money if that was the case, but whatever. Because we certainly aren't in this to get rich. It's not. Yeah. So anyway, check us out, and we will see you guys on the next episode of the Prepping Academy podcast.
Thank you, guys.
Thanks for listening to the Prepping Academy podcast. Preppers Unite at www.preppingacademy.com.
Are you a prepper or homesteader looking to connect with like-minded people in your area? Looking to start your own preparedness group? Already have a group? Well, look no further than PrepperNet. PrepperNet is dedicated to personal responsibility, individual freedoms, and being self-reliant. PrepperNet has monthly meetings in over 100 cities where you can meet and learn with like-minded people in your area. PrepperNet, where preppers unite. Find us online at preppernet.com.